Thank you, Canada. Toronto. He's my friend. That's my friend right there. I know you guys a long time, so this is all cool. This is all right. He's always ready, by the way. This is the Hardcore Show. Welcome to the Hardcore Show, everybody.
All right, I'm here backstage, quote unquote, at the Hard Luck Bar with Roger Miret of Agnostic Front. How you doing today? It's kind of chilly. You doing all right?
I'm doing all right. It is kind of chilly in here, right?
Yeah.
I'm doing good. I'm happy to be here. I love Toronto. It's a sold-out show, so I'm doing great.
So before we get into it, you made an interesting post on Instagram the other day. You want to get a new piece on your head, a new tattoo on your head, and the first thing to do was to get the cobweb removed, and it was a little bit painful. How you doing with that today?
I'm doing much better than when I got it done. But yeah, I didn't expect it to be like that. But I'm going through with the whole way and looking forward to a whole complete headpiece, you know. But maybe I'll change my mind if it doesn't work out.
So why do you have to get it removed first? Because sometimes you can just get something tattooed over something else. Why'd they have to remove that one first? I'm just curious about that. That's one of your oldest pieces, right?
Oh, yeah, of course they're both. There's two spider webs and all that stuff. Because the piece I want to get, I don't want nothing interrupting it, and it'll become two weird cover-ups. And I want the whole piece the way I want it.
So last time I saw you, we talked in about 6 years ago at a very strange music festival in Montebello, Quebec. It was a very dirty, filthy kind of festival, and we talked about things. So that was about 6 years ago. Since then, everyone knows what's been going on, what with the movie and Godfathers of Hardcore, and seeing how things are. So basically, how have things been since the movie and since your diagnosis, and has life on the road changed that much, or is it back to where it was before all that happened?
Man, it's the same old shit. Same old grind, man. Nothing's really changed. I mean, I'm under good care, and I'm aware of a lot of stuff for myself, that I need to be aware. But on the road is the same thing, man. We're out there, doing what we do, loving what we do, and just the show goes on, and that's just the way it is right now.
What can we look forward to this album? Because you hear new Agnostic Front album, to a certain degree what you're going to get, but always there's that extra ingredient that makes each album sort of its own thing. What do you think that this album's going to be like in that respect?
I mean, I think what I really like a lot about this album, first of all, the artwork is something that's a little extra to begin with, because it's a throwback to like our 1986 cover with Sean Tagger, who once again we bought in to do this album cover. So that's a surprise right there for a lot of people. There's a couple thrashy songs, that's why we brought the throwback in. But I think the most important song, and the special one's going to be a song called I Remember Anyway. It's really about like me and Vinny remembering putting this whole band and everything we do together and incorporating all the, which kind of is a nice thing after the film, The Godfathers of Hardcore. So, I mean, musically, anything crazy? No. Just intensity, your strong Agnostic Front record, our 12th studio album, 35 years later, we're still doing it,
So speaking of that, you're on the road right now celebrating Victim in Pain. And, you listen to Victim in Pain and then you listen to, American Dream and stuff like that now. And it's like that they're both Agnostic Front, but like you guys have been able to sort of take your sound into places where other bands, other hardcore bands, other punk bands, they get criticized for being a little bit melodic. They get criticized for having these like extra singable moments, but you guys don't. Why do you think that is?
We do what the hell we want anyway to begin with. Critics will always be critics. You gotta do what you love. First of all, you gotta be true to yourself and be confident in what you're doing to present it to other people. And if it comes across, comes across. Critics are critics, man. There's always somebody out there talking shit, saying something. And most of those critics don't even write music or not even in bands, so they don't even know what it's like to be on the other side of the wall. They want to say what they want to say.
When you're playing Victim in Pain songs now and you're blasting through those songs, is it just like muscle memory, or do you have like specific thoughts that that might have been different from at the time when they're first being written? Well, what do you think about that?
Oh man, when I play, when I hit the stage, I hit the stage. You know, it's everything I love about why I'm here. It's all the 23 hours of work to get here for that, that 1 hour of performance and, in there, and I love being on stage. I mean, songs come on, I just intensify for whatever song it is, and I have a great time. I don't think memories are going on in my head while it's happening.
Right.
But it's just, just doing it.
Old song versus new song, like that the feeling is always consistent for you. It's never like
I think so. I think it's consistent. I don't approach things in any different way. I approach them as, same intensity, same everything, because I love the new songs as much as I love the old songs.
The sort of differences between being an Agnostic Front now and back then. Now, no matter what you do, partially because the band is so legendary at this point, what you do is going to be wrapped up in some commercial circumstances to a certain degree, because you have bigger labels and you have record distributions and all that. Is that stuff that I know you run a lot of the business? Is that stuff that you're okay with, or do you miss the certain DIY aspect of being an Agnostic Front?
I love the DIY aspect. I mean, clubs like this to me is like, look where I'm sitting at. Look at this backstage room and stuff. Like, it's all good, man. Like, I understand playing the big shows. I'm not a fan of it. I don't like it. If you ask me, I'd rather play here than an outdoor like festival thing. But I understand the importance of playing the outdoor festival because you're getting introduced to new people that have never even seen anything like us or heard anything like us, and everybody's got to start somewhere. Not everybody was born cool with tattoos like I was. No, you know what I mean. Not everybody was born a certain way. So like the introduction, and then you make your way into something. It's cool. If I sit around and tell everybody what was your first show, your first concert, I'm sure it's going to be no different than somebody saying Green Day or Blink-182, which are great bands in my opinion. They're just on their levels, you know what I mean? Right. So you got to introduce yourself to all these bands, and they make full circle come around,
So you don't mind like having to deal with the more commercial aspects now, if that's what you have to do?
I don't mind, but I don't deal with it. Honestly, we don't really deal with commercial. I mean, when we're playing a festival, if we're asked to play a festival, it's never really commercial for us. We're still always the garbage at the festival pool.
I guess I feel just the way the band, like just out of necessity, the way the band is promoted now. Like Nuclear Blast is not a small label. Like for instance,
they're an independent label. They're one of the very few independent labels that are around still. A lot of labels are now sold to Sony and all these other things. So Nuclear Blast is a stronger independent label. But all we ask them to do is get our records to places, get you to meet me, and we do interviews. That's all we ask of them. We don't ask nothing else. Everything else we do, we're out there, we perform. You get our records in places so people can pick it up. They come to our shows, and even when we leave, they could go find it, and we'll play. And that's a great relationship. We're not asking anything more from them. They don't ask anything more from us. We travel, we support our new record, and they do the same thing.
So, Agnostic Front has been champions of social causes since the beginning. With the way things are and the rise of populism and all these things going on, like how do you feel about the messages that you're sending out now versus 35 years ago you're touring Victim in Pain with the sort of the extreme nature of culture and society right now? Where do you see Agnostic Front fitting into all that, maybe as a protest band or things like that?
After all these years, I'll be really honest with you, after all these years, I'm talking 37 years, we just want to come into town and play and have a good time. We want everybody to get along. We want everybody to come to the show and leave with big smiles and come back. Most importantly, get home safe and come back. We've been through so much, man. We've been through just about everything, and after a while, it just becomes the same old tired route, and we've been cruising on that tired route for a long time. So right now we're we're on a different path just to, to enjoy what we got for as long as we got,
So regardless of what you might say in the lyrics, when people come to the show, you'd rather it be closer to like a Green Day Blink experience and say like a Napalm Death experience or something like that.
I don't really get it. What's the difference?
Well, it's like coming in and then you have, there's a certain level of political engagement. And I think when people think of Agnostic Front, they do sort of think about that. You know what I mean?
We don't really talk about politics, really. We talk about social political stuff. We don't really talk about world politics, if that's what you're talking about. We talk about like friendship, about stuff that goes around us on a day-to-day basis. The world's fucked up, and leave that and leave all that other crap for politicians who are all corrupt and they're all full of shit. I couldn't care for any of them on any sides. You know what I mean? I think, if anything, people picking any side, you just fell into the whole political agenda. And I have a song about that called Conquer and Divide. Guess what? You all did it. If that's what you did, either way you go. So I don't care about any of that. I know it's not going to change my life. I lived through it. I lived through Reagan, all that stuff. I mean, I know we could do little differences that'll make a change, but it takes a while. And I want my kids to have a better world, of course, and all that stuff too. But we talk about more like socially stuff, about oppression, overcoming oppression, more than world political stuff. Because this world's fucked up. It's been fucked up for centuries. Forget about today. Forget about 10 decades ago. It's been fucked up for centuries. People have been murdering people for greed for how fucking long? How much blood has been spilled in the church just for greed? Bruce Springsteen. Poor man want to be rich, rich man want to be king, and the king ain't satisfied till he rules everything. That's the world we live in, That's it. That's really what it is. It's been that way for centuries. Right now I'm trying to pass on good stuff to my kids from my experiences, and I wish everything could be solved tomorrow, but that's a hard thing, man. I think all that leadership, political people, it's all fucking crazy. I'm talking about people in politics and the high-ups, presidents and mayors and all that shit. They're all full of shit. I've never had any good luck. The first time I was ever able to vote, I voted, and I was very disappointed. So I agreed never to do that again.
This is dedicated to Joey, to Johnny, to Dee, and Tommy, to the Rose.
Roger, I want to thank you so much for speaking to us today. And do you have any final word today for Canada and the rest of your fans?
No, I want to say thank you for coming out, supporting, of course, just not only my band, but Canada Hardcore. And Toronto's always an awesome spot. Always a lot of great bands that play with us here. Thanks for the support. Thanks for all the years. You guys have had great bands from back then till today, We've been playing with bands, Jesus. I remember that first wave of Canadian punk bands that came to play with us, and we came up here too. We shared record labels with like Neil's and stuff like that. There's so many great fucking bands, Stretch Marks, so many great bands, out here, and it's awesome. It's just a border, unfortunately, and it's a rough border between both, because it's never easy going in or out, and other than that, the border's the only thing in between us. Other than that, we have a lot of stuff in common, so that's awesome.